Hey peepsy doodles. Alrighty, so get myself all comfy here. Today we're going to be continuing the Divination series. Shh, you don't want to call it a series. Our Divination videos, and we're going to be talking about tarot, and I'm going to give you guys some tips on starting tarot and things that worked for me, because I had a really hard time connecting with tarot in general. And once I did these things, now I absolutely love it. So maybe you've tried tarot in the past and you just couldn't get the hang of it. Maybe you tried too much to look into tarot. You tried to kind of take everything all in at once, and it was way too much, because you could literally spend your entire life and devote it to tarot and still continue to learn your whole life. So I'm just going to give you a few tips and tricks to try when you're starting out, and then you can, if you really like tarot, you can kind of proceed forward from there and go to whatever you like. So, tip number one is to get a deck that you absolutely love, that you can really connect with. For me personally, that was the Shadowscapes Tarot. I've shown you guys this in another video, so if you're interested, you can go look. I have an unboxing video. But I went through quite a few decks before I found this one, and this is my baby. This is my love. So find yourself a deck that you can really connect to, that you can connect with the imagery, that you can connect with the colors, that you can connect with just the deck in general. Tip number two is to make yourself, or to get yourself, a nice little box bag to put your deck in. You want to treat your tarot deck with the utmost respect. You want to keep its vibrations high, its energy clean. You want to keep them cleansed. You want to keep them away from dust, dirt, grime. So I highly recommend, like, I got that little box from Hobby Lobby and decorated it myself, and I absolutely love it. You can get yourself a little tarot bag, but I highly recommend getting something to put it in, to put your deck in, because just throwing your cards in your purse and bending them and everything is not... It made me feel closer to my deck, because I made something to house them in, and I did a lot for it. Did a little ritual. It was great. So tip number two is to get yourself something to put your deck in. Tip number three, when you get your new deck, I highly recommend taking a day to a couple days and really getting in tune with your deck. Take every single card individually. Look at the colors. Look at the pictures. Pick out the little images that you may not have noticed when you first glanced at it. You know, really try to figure out what's going on in the picture. And then open your book and see, like the Shadowscapes Tarot has beautiful stories behind the cards. So I would look at the deck, I'd really look at it, and then I'd read, you know, the story behind it. I read kind of what the deck meant, and then I would re-look at it again. And so it actually took me a couple days to go through the entire deck, but it was well worth it, because it really helped me to connect to my deck on a deeper level and to see things in the cards and in the images that I hadn't seen when I originally glanced at it. So please don't skip over this step and just go right to using your cards, because you're going to be sorry, because you're not going to be able to connect with them very well. Like, please, if you're just starting out, take some time to go through the deck and look at each one before you start using it. Another nice little tip that really helped me was realizing that each of the suits corresponds to the elements. So you have the pentacle, cups, swords, and staves. The pentacles correspond with earth. Earth has to do with home, health, finances, hearth, that type of stuff. Home and health. Your Cups have to do with water. Water is your intuition, your emotions is a big one, that flowing energy. A lot of the cards when I draw that are cups, because the Shadowscapes Tarot is actually really nice because a lot of the decks are colored, the color of the elements, like all the Pentacle ones have a green hue to them. All of um, the cups have, you know, water or an ocean or a blue. So those are really, really nice because they're kind of already colored for the different elements. But most of the time when I draw a cup card, it has to do with some kind of an emotional something. Staves have to do with fire. Fire is protection, those fiery bursts of emotion or energy, and passion. And air are your swords. And swords and air has to do with mostly the mind and intellect. So that was something that really helped me kind of get a good start when I flipped over a card and I wasn't quite sure what it meant, because it was just wonderful to be like, okay, well, this is a pentacle. And so a pentacle has to do with like home, hearth, health, finances. And then I would kind of look at what was in the picture and go from there. Another nice little tip is when you flip over a card, really pay attention to what stands out to you first. So, you know, if I flip up a card, and it's the Six of Cups. Okay, so like if I flip up this card right here. Woo! And I look, you know, what's the first thing that I see? Well, when I flip this one up, the first thing that I might see is the river with the fish. The first thing that I might see may be all the stuffed animals. It may be the little girl. It may be the color blue or the color yellow. Really pay attention to what pops out to you, because you may draw the same card 15 times in a row, and every time that you draw it for a different reading, you're going to notice something different. That card is going to mean something different. There was a card that I have for, I don't remember what it was, but it was stabs, because there was foxes. And one time I drew it, it was, you know, the foxes were sly and sneaky, and they were, you know, it had to do with somebody in this person's life being that sly, sneaky, something wasn't quite right. But then another time that I drew it, the foxes ended up being protectors, and it was the same card. So really pay attention to your intuition, to what your gut's telling you, to the images, and what you see when you pop that card up. Another thing is you've got your numbered cards, so you have like 6 of Cups, 8 of Staves, you know, all of that goodness. And then you have your named cards, your major arcana and your minor arcana. Your major arcana are going to be the cards that are named. So you have judgment, death, the universe, all of those different, I want to say it's the first 24. Don't quote me on that because I actually don't remember the number. But the major arcana are the big names. The minor arcana are like your 6 of this, or your king of this, or your queen of this. And so pay attention to that when you're, this is another tip. I don't know what number tip we're on, but when you are flipping up cards, when you're flipping up your little doodads, think of it as the major arcana, so your named cards, are the big issue. Like, those are really something to pay attention to. While the minor arcana are the details. That also really kind of helped me, because a lot of times when I go through and I do a reading, you know, I like to do my 10 card spread. I love my 10 card spread. And so a lot of times the first or second card will be a major arcana card. And so that calls for immediate attention. Like, this is your issue. This is a problem. This is what we're kind of dealing with. And then whenever I'd get minor arcanas, it would be details having to do with that major card. And also, you know, when you're looking at the major arcana, make sure that, you know, as you're looking through, if you draw a death card, please don't tell somebody they're going to die. Really look at these as metaphors. So a death of something. Maybe you are, maybe somebody's coming into a big change. Maybe there's going to be a huge life. There's going to be a death of something to bring in new life of something else. So don't tell somebody they're going to die. Don't do that. Let me see what else I have to tell you guys. I think I said this, and I don't remember. So if I didn't, I'm going to tell you this, because I've done this video 3 different times. Pinterest. If you're looking for different tarot spreads. Because, you know, you have your normal 1, 2, 3, your past, your present, your future, which is fantastic to start out with. But, you know, really kind of look into, or even make your own, of tarot spreads that are going to work for you. Like I said, I have my 10 card spread that I absolutely adore. And it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Like, it's this big, but I fucking love it. And I have done fantastic readings with it. So in that one, you have number 1, which is your main problem. Number 2 is, which lays across from it, is what is affecting that problem, or what's the cause of the problem. The 3rd card is guidance from the divine. Your 4th card is your foundation. Your 5th card is your past. Your 6th card is your future. And then you have a card, your number 7 is yourself. Number 8 is normally another person, like somebody that's influencing the problem. Number 9 is your hopes and fears. And number 10 is your outcome. And so I love that spread so much. But there are so many different kind of spreads. So like I said, this tarot spread book is fantastic for that. I don't even fucking remember if I showed you guys these, because I showed you them in the first video, in the second video, but I can't remember now if I showed you them in this one. So I do have a book of tarot spreads and a book of tarot spells that I recommend as far as reading. So the tarot spread book is really good, but if you don't want to spend money, go to Pinterest. So let's see what else I can tell you guys. I guess one of the biggest things that I would tell you is don't, as much as tempting as it may be, don't go for your book that comes with your deck. Read it through once to kind of get yourself acquainted with your cards, but after that, put your book away. And really focus on, you know, do readings for yourself. Do readings for your spouse or for your family, for people that you can really trust, that you can practice on. And just use your intuition. Use your knowledge of the elements. Use your knowledge of the cards, what you kind of remember their story being, the images, the colors. Use all of that along with your gut feeling and your intuition to give somebody a reading. Now, there's so much more that you can delve into. You know, each number has a meaning. So 1 through 0, all of those, or 0, yeah, all of those have meanings for your deck. So like if you flip up a 6 of cards or a 6 of cups, like the 6 has a meaning behind it. You know, there's so much that you can get into. But for now, just focus on these couple things that I've taught you and that I've told you, and see what it goes from there. You know, if you really start getting into it and you really, really like it and you're really good at getting good results, then you can kind of look more into the details of tarot and read more up on what the different number and bring the numerology into it and all of that. But I really feel like after I did all of these different things that tarot has been awesome for me, and I absolutely love it. So I hope that you guys like it too. And I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you later.